Being pregnant means every day is another day closer meeting the other love of our life. To all pregnant women in our generation, you are pregnant and you are powerful. You are bold and you are beautiful. Go forward in your boldness and in your contentedness. Trust your body to give birth and know the collective power of women worldwide will be with you. Pregnancy serves as a blessing from God. It gives positive impact to the mother and to the family. Aside from it gives positive impact, there is also a bad impact of pregnancy. How we know that it causes bad impact to the mother and to the family? First is if the mother and the father is not ready for it. Second, the lack of financial to support the healthy life of the baby. Third, is when it happened unintended. The best example of this is the teenage pregnancy. Having a baby in this early stage of our life gives positive and negative impact as a human being. Positive because it gives new creation that is a blessing from God. Negative because we are living in a society that is full of judgments. It seems that in the 21st century modern world, pregnancy is known, especially those teenagers who become pregnant in the early stage of their life. Teenage pregnancy or the adolescent pregnancy is a very common and increasing issue in our society. The adolescent stage is the most important stage in our life and the most influencing stage in life because in this stage of life, it starts us to confuse of many things. At this stage of life, serve as the most crucial phase of growing up as a human being. At this stage of life, we can experience different changes in our life, body, specifically the physiological changes. At this stage of life, we are confused in things and changes in our body, and because of that, we are prone in experimenting things about those changes happen in our body. Teenage pregnancy is the most rampant issue here in the Philippines. According to the latest news report of the Manila Bulletin News, reported by Ms. Elalyn de Vera Ruiz, as of August 13, 2021, the Commission of Population, POPCOM, estimated that over 160,000 adolescent minors may become or continue to be heads of a family. By the end of this year, the numbers of adolescent minors include 60,000 plus who will give birth in 2021 and about 100,000 minors who continue to be heads of their families from the previous year. Executive Director of the POPCOM, Mr. Juan Antonio Perez III said in an online forum organized by the University of the Philippines that this is a growing number. I think it will be about the highest numbers ever since we started tracking this group. Reading this news article give me many questions. Does the pandemic crisis we are experiencing right now affect the continued progressing rate of the teenage pregnancy here in our country? Or the lack of programs to educate teenager about the cause of having a baby in the early stage of life. The pandemic is not the factor affect the continued progressing rate of the teenage pregnancy giving birth in the Philippines, but the factors such as first, the dysfunctional family due to the lack of advice or life lesson that a parent can give to a young people, they will tend to seek to a person that can understand them. Second, the closure of school this area affect the progression rate of young people giving birth due to the lack of life lesson that a teacher could give to a student, and school serve as a protective physical setting for a young people. Last is the lack of access to sexual and reproductive health education due to the lack of programs about these things. Many young people are exploring those physiological changes happen to them. I asked one of my neighbor who is a part of the numbers of teenager giving birth. I asked her if how it affects having a baby at the early stage of her life. She said that having an unplanned and unintended pregnancy is so hard because she had no idea about the things. I also asked her if she can share the experience of giving the birth of the baby. At first, I don't know if I will be continuing giving birth of the baby because her father is just 16 years old, and I don't know if how I can support and give the deserving life of the baby. But thanks to God that He gave me strength to continue giving birth of the baby, because this baby served as a blessing and inspiration to continue. I feel more motivated now to strive more for the baby's future, and this served as a new starting point of life. Having a baby in the early stage of life can give positive and negative effect as a human being. Positive effect of teenage pregnancy to a young mother. First, that it makes them feel motivated to achieve their goals because of having another inspiration to continue conquering the successful life due to the fact that they want to give a brighter future for the baby. They will tend to start working in field that could helpful in providing the financial support of the baby. Also, as a mother, it always choose the better future of the child rather than having a growing that has many problems. As a matter of fact, that a young mother has that high energy level to attend meetings and seminar about the academic development of a child. That's why they can provide lessons for the child. So, let's jump to the other effect of teenage pregnancy, or the negative effect. Unintended pregnancy combined with high responsibility and difficulty in decision making can lead to a young mother depressions. Depression can cause bad impact on the mother's health because of that they always thought about negativity, and the respect they have to their self is so low. Due to this, the baby's healthy development could be affected. Another negative effect of teenage parents are forced to drop out from school due to the duty of being a parent. They begin to earn money even if they have limited abilities to the same job. The dangers of living in poverty are so high risk. Some teen moms may be eligible for some government assistance, but it doesn't last for more than a year. The mental health of the teenager who experiencing this kind of things could be affected. It can cause them shock or even traumatize, especially if she always heard those comments by someone that is bad. Especially that we are living in a society that's full of judgments. Becoming a mother at the very early stage of life is so hard because it may affects their mental health of a pregnant teenager. We can consider committing suicide, suffering domestic violence, and the worst thing is abortion. That's why it's so hard for them bearing those problems. That's why we can't judge a people because of that thing. They are also humans too. They can make mistakes. No one in this world is perfect. At least they learn from the mistake of exploring those things that is not good, especially if you are not committed on the consequences of it. As Mr. Levin Ramin said in his quote, I'm so fascinated by the concept of teenage pregnancy. For some reason, not that I condone it or promote it, but it's just a very real thing in our country and culture. The best thing is to just respect them as a human being that can make mistake. Let's just inspire them that doing this kind of things is not good, especially if you can give the worthy living of the baby. Don't hate, just love. Thank you for listening.